Gender inequality in Iran in general and in Ahwaz in particular remains a huge problem, leaving women and girls in a poor standard of living and vulnerable to constant abuse and violation of their rights. The applicable laws in Iran do not provide them with the proper protection. So the Ahwazi women face enormous difficulties on their own occupied land. Ahwazi women have been deprived of working in the governmental departments and in private sectors due to the common ongoing discrimination against them. In addition, there are tens of Ahwazi women who have been jailed and tortured in Iranian notorious prisons, and some of them were executed in the public and inside prisons. Fahima Badawi and her husband were taken into prison. The husband was tortured savagely in presence of the wife. Fahima Badawi was tortured in presence of her husband as well. After a few months of torturing the husband, he was executed in the prison. The pregnant wife then had delivered her baby in the prison. The Iranian regime did not provide her with special treatment during her pregnancy and her delivery. Disregarding the international rule and regulation about the right of pregnant women, the Iranian regime continued torturing Fahima during her pregnancy and after her delivery. This injustice cannot be forgiven under any pretext. Another respectful activist from Ahwazi community is called Maryam Zubaydi. Maryam was also taken to prison and tortured constantly. She was threatened of rape and killing. The confession was taken from her under torture, and she was forced to appear in front of the Iranian national TV against her will, to deny publicly the regime brutality and injustice. Their children are not able to continue their education. Therefore, there is the dropout and illiteracy rates reportedly very high in the Ahwaz region. Child labor also has become a phenomenon that is cutting across society. Children are often working under their very high temperature. They work very hard and in a dangerous environment. According to official reports, more than 50% of schools in Ahwaz are unsafe and learning are susceptible to collapse. The other dangers that affect the well-being and education of the children include the pollution of water and from sugarcane, and also the child labor. To explain the cause of such regular storms, environmental experts made connection between the construction of 60 dams in Ahwazi rivers and tunneling this water to central provinces in Iran. It has been reported that Arab children were denied a family environment, particularly whom their parents were killed or imprisoned. Also, the very high of poverty and poor living conditions are the major issues facing children, since some parts of Ahwaz completely lack basic services such as electricity, public transport, medical facilities, or schools. There is a discrimination against Ahwazi children. They face arrest, detention, imprisonment, killing, torture, and execution of members of such groups by law enforcement and judicial authorities. Also, the regime in Iran puts tremendous pressure on art and culture of Ahwazi children, violating their rights to have newspapers, books, or journals in their native language, which is Arabic. There were a lot of demonstrations in May and June 2019 among teachers, students, and hospital staff in Iran and Ahwaz concerning the poor working conditions. On the 18th of April 2018, 2 women were arrested. There is no information about the conditions of imprisonment, but also the family and the students. The protesters, which included a large number of women, demanded freedom of their beloved ones. 2 Iranian women by the names of Azam Diban and Amina Zahiri Sari have been arrested and detained by the intelligence and security forces in Mashhad and Ahwaz on November 5th and 6th, 2018, respectively. Ms. Azam Diban was arrested on November 5, 2018 in the protest gathering outside the Ibn Sina Hospital of Mashhad, demanding release of teacher activist Hashim Kassar, who has been arrested by the state security force. The state security force had announced that all arrested in this gathering were released on the same night, but Ms. Azam Diban was not released. She was taken to the detention center of the intelligence department. So the Iranian regime arrested teachers, women workers, and especially discriminated against children. The Iranian regime has arrested and detained a number of women, including civil rights activists, human rights activists, religious minorities in the month of October 2018.